Alright, tweet is out. Now we can come to the chat. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Colin. Good evening, Toby. Good evening, Addy. Good luck all to you lot tonight. Yeah, I'm doing fantastic, to be honest with you. I just had a quick look at time trial beforehand. Good luck beating Ed for pole. Because, well, that is some lap he said, at least in time trial, but of course, everything can change. And we've got strict corner cutting in play. Internet bad, track bad, championship status bad. You got to be positive, Toby. You got to be positive. With those negative thoughts, you're not going to win. But at least commentators are good. Ah, you're too kind. There's the bloody birds chirping outside my window, which isn't always fantastic. As Ben Gothridge is backing Addy in Hereford. Well, that's glad to have you along. As we're looking at a fairly overcast Mexican Grand Prix track. As of course, we will just quickly, if I can get back, we'll go through the championship standings. No, we'll do that during the formation lap. We'll go through the championship standings on the formation lap. Brilliant. Thanks for that, Nathan. As we're now underway in what it nearly looks to be raining conditions here in Mexico. And what is now an ever-crucial qualifying, one-shot lap qualifying session. It's crucial with 18 drivers on the grid. Holy moly! That the ones who really need to get a good race result get a significant qualifying position. That's not how you do it as Bolt goes off the track at turn 1 and cutting the corner already. I wouldn't be surprised if his lap has been invalidated already. But the track conditions do look extremely difficult. As we're seeing drivers seemingly go absolutely into 90 into every single braking zone. As we're on board now with King No Skill, and happy birthday to King No Skill, of course. It was his birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to you, mate. But here they come now through the S section, the very difficult part of the track. It's so difficult to get all these corners lined up, especially with the default setup. So King No Skills all the way down in 15th place. We've got to get our way back up to the front. And at the moment, it's Chili Killer who's on pole as we're now entering into the stadium sector. And this very tight left-hander certainly is a very difficult part of the track. As now, it looks like it's going to be Chili Killer if he can get it back just to get the power down through the final corner. Can he get pole position? Yes, he can by 0.2 of a second over Addy. Then Bolt in third. And I believe, who was in fourth? I can't remember. I've already forgotten who was in fourth. It's not exactly what you want to be doing. There you go. It was Bolt in fourth, then followed by Ragno in fifth, Hereford in sixth, Ayrton Spanner in seventh on the medium compounded tyres, along with Chazza and Dougie Afterman in ninth, Murcielago in 10th, Lol Power in 11th, Val in 12th, Schechter 12th, and then disqualified Danny Biddlehar, Maverick, Testameister, King No Skill, and Skull. But now, we will get to the championship standings, and this is a very tasty top four, arguably the best four drivers on the grid so far this season. Well, certainly Chili Killer in the last few races, as he did take pole in Japan as well last time out, did Chili Killer, so he's really stepped it up as well as we're getting into what is now the last few races of the season. But now, as we're waiting for the formation lap on what appears to be much sunnier Mexico City for the race. But now, after the Japanese Grand Prix, in which after this race there are only 3 races left, we have Addy in the championship lead for the first time this season, who has won 4 out of the last 5 races on 283 points. And we have Bolt, who hasn't found a race win since the Hungarian Grand Prix He's only been on the podium twice in the last 5 races on 277 points. Then we have Ed, who did miss out last time in Japan due to him being in Wales on 271 points. Then we have Chazza, nearly double the way back on 139. Then we have Chillikill on 137. Then we have Val on 112, I believe that is. And then Ragno on 108. We'll just go through the rest of the top 10. Then we have Maverick on 78. Murcielago on 73. And then rounding out the top 10, we have Hereford on 46 points. But now we're underway on our formation lap, and it's going to be a very intriguing race. 36 laps. And hello to Ryan Williams. Hope you're doing well. But 36 laps of what is going to be an intriguing race. Of course, it is pretty easy to overtake at this circuit. You have the big long straight all the way down to turn 1 to overtake, and well, you're going to have 38 opportunities at least to overtake. Of course, it might be a bit difficult in the first few laps with the DRS not being enabled, but there will be plenty of opportunities for overtakes, which of course we didn't exactly see in Japan. A lot harder to overtake it at Suzuka, but here in Mexico it should be a lot easier to overtake, and I'm hoping that we are in for an absolute barnstormer of a race. Of course, we do have a couple of drivers starting way back further back who have done very well as of late. Of course, on the podium, I think from 15th place last time out was Maverick, and he does start in 15th place once again today. And we have Val, of course, in 12th, so lots of people who could get good points finishes here, starting quite a ways back. And now all the drivers are starting to line up as we're on board with our championship leader here, Addy. He's in prime position, honestly, along with Ed and Bolt, all in very good positions. Honestly, if you don't want to be Chillikill in this scenario, as Pole doesn't exactly have the best, well, isn't exactly the best starting point, as everyone else has a slipstream behind you. But now we are waiting for the 5 red lights to come on, and here we go. We have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5 lights. And lights out, and away we go, and it looks like it was a very strong start by Ed, who's already gone down the middle of them. He's on the lead already after about 100 metres, but we have Chillikill on the left-hand side, Addy on the inside, and who's going to come out on top? It looks like it's going to be Addy down the inside. No, Chillikill is going to go around the outside of all 3 of them. He pulls off the move. What a move that is by Chillikill, and Addy gets up into second, pushing Ed off the circuit. Bolts up in 4th, and there's some yellow flags further back behind, but it's absolute chaos here as Dougie Afferman trying to go around the outside of Ragnar here, as they're going side by side now, and Dougie Afferman going to force Ragnar off the circuit. Let's see who comes out on top, as they're still going side by side. A bit of wheel banging, and Dougie Afferman comes out on top in that battle at the moment, but Chillikill has somehow still retained his lead here. He's in first place, followed by Addy, followed by Ed, and then followed by Bolt. The man who is not in the championship battle at the moment is currently leading, as Ed's looking to put Addy under pressure as they come out of the S section, and he goes around the outside into the stadium section, does he? He goes off circuit to maintain the position, but now through the tight hairpin, he gets the move done, does Ed. What a move that is by Ed. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of controversy surrounding that, as he did go off circuit, but now Bolt will be looking to come and get at Addy now. As we now are just starting lap 2, it seems like we've been going for 15 years. That was a fantastic first lap. As Addy, what's happened? I think we have some sort of virtual safety car. Yep, we do have a virtual safety car, I believe, or even a full course safety car. Let's see what on earth is going on. Well, I'm not entirely sure, but here we go. We have Lola Power coming into the pits. And also, oh yes, Murcielago, he's all the way back in the middle part of the lap, and he's just put in the chat that he's got a puncture. So there's obviously been some contact at the start there, further back, which were the causes of the yellow flag earlier on. As the field is having to abide by the speed limit displayed on their dashboards. For the time being, as we're still under yellow flag conditions. And none of the leaders have to be careful here that they don't get caught out by it going green all of a sudden. I'm not sure if it's a full course safety car or not. I think it actually might be. Hang on, let's go on board to Murcielago here, and yes indeed it is actually a full course safety car, so this will be good for those who are looking to go for perhaps a little bit more conservative strategy here, say a one-stop. I'm not entirely sure if that is possible, as I haven't done exactly too much racing, but we have a lot of pit stops here, as Skull has got a drive-through penalty for speeding underneath the safety car, but we have Hereford, Val, Testameister, Ayrton, Spenner and Maverick all coming into the pits very early on, and let's see what compounded tyres they're going to go on. They're going to go on the medium compounded tyres, as Skull's been done for speeding underneath the safety car once more, so naughty naughty. You don't want to be doing that, as we've had Hereford go on a set of hard, so all those drivers who have made these pit stops early on here going to be looking to go long into this race, as the safety car will probably be out for another probably another 2 laps, so it's going to be good for those who want to go long in this race, but it's also good for those on the soft compounded tyres, as it means that they can also go long in the race. It just upsets the differential with the tyres. But what a start that was. Chilika, he didn't have the best of starts, whereas Ed, he was already up the inside of both Addy and Chilika after about 100 metres, but he still didn't come out on top. He ended up in actually 3rd coming out towards the end of the first lap, but and managed to get this move done here around the outside of the stadium section on Addy, and that's why he's in 2nd place, as we've had Chaz and Danny Evin Lahar trade positions. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. There's those who did start on the medium compound tyres. We have Danny Evin Lahar, of course, here in the Renault, not the Renault, in the McLaren, who started to have an upturn in form. We've seen him get a very good, I believe it was 4th place finish last time out, so Danny is starting to step up his performances, and it's good to see, because he was a strong contender back on F1 2018, I should say. So it's good to see him back towards where he really should be. And of course, Chazza, of course, it hasn't been exactly the greatest week for my good friend Chaz, but it's good to see him on the grid tonight, and hopefully he can get a good result in, of course, his beloved, he's very beloved Ferrari. We're just trundling around now, as we should have the safety car coming at the end of this lap, but I've just noticed that we've had Lyle Power come into the pit lane again, and he's all the way on the main straight now, so it might stay out another lap, but I mean, quite frankly, that would be ridiculous, because we've all got all 16 cars within about 10 seconds of each other, and then we've got Lyle Power all the way back here, so we really should have the safety car coming in this lap. And, well, it looks like it's going to be staying out for another lap. So, we're just going to have to sit here and remain patient for another whole entire lap. Now, we don't really have exactly too much, to talk about, but Chilika, he really could play a massive part in this championship battle. He seemed to really picked up his performance in the last few races, and that really could play a major factor in this championship, taking crucial points off Ed, Addy or Bolt, as of course we have a 3-way battle for the lead of the championship. Surely now, as we head through the first sector, and we've had more cars pit, Val and Testameister, so I can only assume that there's been some contact between cars underneath the safety car. But surely now we have to have the safety car come in. The track's been clear, we're just waiting for the cars to catch up to the back of the pack. And surely it was Ayrton Spinner's got his 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. And Lollapower's just got his second penalty behind the safety car. What on earth is going on? People picking up penalties behind the safety car for corner cutting. It's unexcusable. I think we nearly had King No Skill. And here we go, safety car in this lap as Val and Testameister nearly caught back up to the back of the pack here. And indeed they will catch up to the back of the pack here, but now Chili Killer has to start to slow the pack down as he now is going to come through the very tight and awkward left chicane. And now as he prepares to launch on the exit of this long right-hander, as he puts the power down, and now we're back underway, back under racing here in Mexico, and Ed is all over the rear end of Chili Killer. Of course, no DRS enabled at this moment in this race, but now Ed is going to try and go around the outside here of the Alfa Romeo. Can he get the job done? It looks like Chili Killer will hold on with the inside line, but he forces Ed slightly off the circuit there. But Chili Killer remains strong and gets the move done. He remains in the lead here. But Addy is now also looking to try and get involved here. As we've got an awful camera shot here. But Ed really putting the pressure on Chili Killer here early. He's going to try once again to go around the outside. And can he get it done? Oh my goodness gracious. What a move that is by Chili Killer. By Ed on Chili Killer, I should say. That is absolutely raucous. And he's now in the lead of the Grand Prix, and surely with the pace he's been showing and the aggressiveness he's been showing early on, he'll be looking to pull away the lead, but he actually gets caught on the curb quite badly there. And now this should allow Chili Killer to come back as well. But now we also have Bolt all over the back of Addy here, as Bolt's going to go up the inside, but he's going to go off circuit as Addy has to avoid him there. But Bolt with the inside line into the chicane, can he get it done? As we've also got that the Ferrari and Toro Rosso in the background going at it. But Addy remains firm and strong and remains in third place for the moment, but he's immediately going defensive down the main straight. But we'll keep our eyes mainly focused here on Chili Killer, who's in the slipstream of Ed already. He's using his maximum amount of ERS, but he isn't gaining enough as Ed locks up into turn one. Looks like everything here should remain settled unless Chili Killer can get a very good exit here out of the traction zone and down the second DRS straight, but of course DRS not enabled, as this is now the second lap since safety car has come in. But looks like Addy isn't quite getting as much pressure from Bolt, but now Bolt is actually receiving some pressure from Doug Yafferman, who's also got Chazza and Ragno and Chazza hot on his heels in 6th and 7th place respectively, as Bolt's already picked up a 3-second time penalty as Doug Yafferman goes wide through the S's, and that's thrown Ragno off, who's cut the corner massively and also extended there. And I'm sure Ragno won't be too pleased with Doug Yafferman there. He's going to try and go around the outside here at the start of the stadium section, and quite frankly he just drives off the circuit to get past Doug Yafferman there. And now Ragno is up in the 5th place, and Chazza also opportunistic, trying to go around the outside, the final corner, not going to be able to quite get that move done. He's going for a switchback here though. Chazza, you must be pointing out, as don't tell me we've got another safety car. Well, we've seen that Lollapower has retired from the Grand Prix. Oh, and there we go. He's gone into the wall just at the start of the stadium section here. We'll come on board with Maverick here, and we'll see that we would have seen that the racing point was in the wall there, as we've got other cars coming to the pits. Danny Bin Har And Skull also coming into the pits. But another safety car. As King No Skill has been connecting and disconnecting from the lobby many times. But wow, this race has just been absolutely dominated by safety cars. Well, I think we've had more laps underneath the safety car than we actually have proper racing as as Skull going off the circuit there. I'm not too sure if he was looking at his monitor or not. That perhaps might explain the causes. We've got all of the leaders coming into the pits now. We've got Chiller Killer, we've got Addy, we've got Bolt, we've got Ed, we've got a whole barrage of cars coming into the pits. And let's see, can the man in the lead of the race come out ahead from the pit stops? And yes, he does. Chiller Killer comes out just behind him. Then followed by Addy and then Bolt. So that's good. We've still got all of that in business, but we've had a couple of cars continue on here as we'll now switch over to the pit stops as we have got Val in 4th place. He's already made 2 pit stops in this race. He's up in 4th. Then we've got Hereford on the hard compounded tyres in 3rd, and we've got Chazza who's looking to go long in this race on the medium compounded tyres. Then we've got Doug Yaffman who's yet to pit also along with Chazza, but of course he is on the soft compounded tyres as my lap 9 of 36 in this Mexican Grand Prix, and underneath the safety car for a second time as Lyle Power crashed into the wall at the end of the S section. And just at the entry of the stadium section as King No Skill has once again rejoined. The man, of course, hashtag team disconnectors. Many drivers, I've seen so many drivers so far this race pick up penalties for corner cutting underneath the safety car. Like, come on guys, get a grip. As it looks like we'll probably have, I wouldn't expect the safety car to come in at the end of the next lap, but probably in 2 laps time, as we can see, we've got as Dougie Aframan. Is he going to come in the pits? Yes, he is. And also Chazza is going to come in the pits. I'm not too sure why Dougie Aframan didn't, but I can understand why Chazza wouldn't, because he was behind his teammate at the time. But that's really going to cost Chazza and Dougie Aframan. That's going to put them way down in the field now. And I believe that's Chazza. Did Chazza just go on to the soft compound tyres? We have to, of course, see that if that is correct. Indeed, Chazza's gone on the soft compound tyres. So Chazza is going to go aggressive here in this race with a very aggressive tyre strategy. But it can be done. It can be done indeed. I'm sure that his soft tyres were in pretty good nick. But now he's going to feel confident going onto these soft compound tyres in the Millstone, perhaps pitting onto another compound of medium tyres. Or perhaps if he's feeling a little bit bold I should say, perhaps he could go onto another set of soft compound tyres, as they've now all caught back up to each other. As of course Murchie is a lap down here, but he's up in what would be 10th place. So, oh, and what's going on there? We've got Skull in the wall. How have we got Skull in the wall? We're under safety car conditions. He's in the wall. What is going on here is, as I was alluding to before, Chazza and Dougie Afterman decided to pit. That them not pitting has really cost them here. Chazza's in 14th and Dougie Afterman in 13th, and a lot of drivers have jumped them now. As now Murcielago is seemingly disconnected from this from the session. He's actually just written quite a furious message in the chat, which I will allow to be said. But Murcielago, it was Testamice's goal, 5-second time penalty for a severe collision. As now Hereford, there's nearly more contact between Testamice and Ayrton Spencer. But now we're going to get back underway here, or eventually as it looks like Ayrton Spinner may have illegally overtaken there before the start, and he might be already in the lead here. He's Ayrton Spinner, he's storming down the main straight, and there's absolute chaos. We're going to be about 17 wide down here on the long highway in Mexico, and is it going to be Testameister going to get the move? He's going to go in the lead, is Testameister. Ayrton Spinner. Oh, and Val's gone off the circuit as it looks like there was a Williams there nearly getting spun around. And as Val's come back onto the circuit, we have to maintain our focus on what is the more important battle. As we've got Chili Killer here and Ed, as all looks like Val's going to try and launch one up the inside, but he's thought better of it. He's got, oh, and there's been contact, and that's Val spinning around there. I don't know if there's been any major contact there between any of the championship leaders. Oh, and Bolt's down to 11. What's gone on to Bolt there? He might have had contact with Val as him and Chaz are going side by side, but with the inside line there, Bolt has got to keep that as Danny Abinlahar loses the rear end there and is going to have to cut across the chicane and come back right in front of Dougie Aframan. That's going to be an absolute slam dunk penalty that he's going to receive by the stewards there by Danny Abinlahar, but it is so close here. Look at this. What is Testameister is doing? Literally a chili train as Ed's trying to launch it up the inside. We've got 6 cars separated by about a second here, and it's all kicking off here in the Mexican Grand Prix as well. Lap 12 here, but we're just going to sit on board with Ragnar as we have Ed weaving all over the straight in the slipstream of Testameister. He's got the inside line. It looks like on the McLaren here. Does Ed, is he going to get the move up the inside? We have an Alfa Romeo launching it from a mile back. But Testameister's going to hold on for the time being here with Ed behind, then followed by Ayrton Spinner, then also then Chili Killer. But let's see, is Testameister going to be able to hang on here? He's going to have to do an absolute madness of a move around the outside as he cuts back across underneath. Is he going to go for another switch back here? No, he cannot, as Ed is now into the lead of the Grand Prix as he touches the back. And then he is on the hard compounder tyres, and now this should allow Ed, well, to quite frankly streak away here in the middle sectors. It doesn't look like Testameister really does have the pace as Ayrton Spinner just picked up a 3-second time penalty, as all the drivers seem to be really struggling here in this middle sector, as we've got about the top 10 here separated by about 5 seconds as Bolt has moved himself up into P7. Also Chaz very opportunistically getting past Hereford here up into P9, who's had an absolute stinker of a restart. He's all the way down to P9, and of course he was in the lead, so not a very good start there by Hereford, as we now have the DRS enabled in. Testameister has already been gapped by Ed, but Chili Killer here in the slipstream of Ayrton Spinner. Of course, DRS not enabled right now, but at the end of this lap it will be, as Chili Killer launches from a mile back and gets a move done up the inside of Ayrton Spinner, as Ragno and Addy are battling here. Addy going for a switch back here on Ragno, and Ragno, must be pointed out, is on a medium compounder tyres here, so that's quite important. Addy, of course, our championship leader, it's going to be crucial that he gets these moves done, but he doesn't get the move done. Ragnar with a brilliant move, or perhaps not so yet, as Ragnar makes a little bit of a mistake, and that allows Addy to get back up into 5th place. And now Ragnar's getting put under pressure here by Bolt, but Ragnar having to defend the inside line. It's going to upset the rest of his lines through the S's. But speaking of upsetting of lines, Bolt's had an absolute nightmare of an S's, and now that's going to put him under pressure from Chasser, as Chasser's going to look to go around the outside of him here into the stadium section. Can he get that done? No, Bolt's going to go miles off the track there to defend his position, and he defends his position for the time being ahead of Chazza in P7. But we said that Testameister's speed was not really there, as Ed now has a 3-second margin, and in such a tight race, that is absolutely massive, as we have Chili Killer now looking to finally get past Testameister, but we've also got Ayrton Spinner and Addy absolutely flying down the back here, and is that Ayrton Spinner's dodging and weaving all, but here we go. Addy is gonna have to defend from Ragnar once more, and he stays in 3rd place now, so that all that sort of kerfuffle, as I think is the best way to describe it at the moment, between Testameister and Ayrton Spinner, is going to allow Eddie to get up into 3rd place, and now he just has to focus on gapping Ragnar. That's seeming very difficult to do right now, as Eddie really isn't looking too fantastic at the moment in this race. It must be said, not as comfortable as he has in previous races. where of course he has won 4 out of the last 5 races in this league. He's been an absolute tear since the summer break. I've mentioned numerous times now, as Bolt, of course, our former championship leader, our championship leader for the majority of the season, here in 6th place behind the 2 Ferraris, who are now about to engage battle, as Chazza is well within the DRS window of Ragnar. He now has the DRS, he's using all of his ERS, and surely this should be quite a comfortable move for Chazza. Up the inside and past Ragnar, and indeed it is, but Ragnar says, he's going to try and go around the outside here. And yes, Ragnar's just about stuck his nose, and he's forced his teammate completely off the circuit. Not so gentlemanlike there between the 2 teammates. But now Bolt once more, he's going to try and get past Chazza. But Chazza, I know, he's going to be running a crazy. Oh, there's a bit of lag here between the 2. But Chazza just giving enough racing room as per usual. A very fair racer in this league, and probably the most clean driver that we do have in this league. Giving Bolt the respect that he deserves and the room he deserves, as Bolt remains in P6 here for the time being. As Ragnar, I've just noticed, has absolutely messed up the S's once more. It seems like the S section, if you're in dirty air, is absolutely awful. As I've accidentally hidden messages in the chat, so I do apologise for that. As Ed now has a 4.5 second lead over Chillakilla, but the way things have gone so far in this race, we could see another safety car as we're nearly at halfway distance. But surely now, Chazza, he's right on the rear end of Ragnar. Surely with his usage of ERS and DRS, if he can cut back across in front of Ragnar, as Chazza is weaving down the straight with DRS open. I don't know how on earth he hasn't exactly just gone flying off the circuit, but Chazza up into P4. Past Ragnar, and he'll be absolutely delighted with that. And now perhaps Ragnar has other things to worry about, that as Bolt is now going to put pressure on Ragnar. Now he's going to look for a move up the inside, doesn't really commit to the move. He thinks better of it, does Bolt. He's seen that Ragnar is really weak through this S part of the track, and there you go, going wide once more all over the track is Ragnar, as we will have to keep an eye on a battle that is emerging for 2nd place in this race between Chillakilla and Addy. But seemingly both drivers really struggling through this middle sector, as Chaz has absolutely flown away. Chaz has already pulled a 2-second gap to Ragnar. As now Bolt trying to go up the inside here at the start of the stadium section, he forces Ragnar off the circuit, and that is a very good move there by Bolt. Ragnar trying to go around the outside there, but I don't think that's quite possible. But Bolt now up into P5, up past Ragnar, but now Ragnar, he's going to try and absolutely go flying back past the Renault here. He won't care that he's in the championship battle. He's shown that in the past. And here comes Ragnar. He's absolutely flying down the main straight, 332 kilometers an hour, and he's going to get back past the Renault. Is Bolt going to outbrake himself? Ragnar's going to try and go around the outside, but Bolt looking to set up a switch back here, and he's done so very, very well, as he now has got a brilliant switch back here on Ragnar. He's going to have to go the long way around though to maintain position, but we've seen many times so far, if you can get this inside line for this next right-hander, which I'm talking about right now, you can get that move done. And Bolt is now up into P5. He's secured that P5. As now King No Skill has retired from the session in P13, but now Bolt, he just needs to have a clean middle sector, and that's not what he's done here. He's gone wide, and Ragnar seemingly going to put Bolt under pressure once more. Bolt just needs to have a clean middle sector so he can start to pull away from Ragnar, like Chazza has done, as Chazza is now nearly only a second behind Addy and Chillakilla, who've really been engaging in some close combat here over the past few laps, but hasn't been really worthy of showing the action, as they haven't been super close so far. But now we have Addy in the slipstream with Chillakilla with the DRS seemingly not gaining too much whatsoever. I don't know what it is. He should really be going for a move there, but just not gaining in a straight on Chillakilla. But this is surely the closest that Addy has been, and the best opportunity so far he has had to get past Chillakilla here. But no, he's not going to be able to get the move done just yet, as Addy's actually just picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's not what you want if you're Addy. Usually someone who's so good at not picking up penalties But this time he has picked up some penalties, and Addy in P3. Oh, he's going to try and go up the inside! And Chillicothe through the S's! What an audacious move that is! And has he got it done? Yes, he has! How has he got that done? And now Chaz is ready to pounce up the inside of Chillicothe, but no, he's not going to quite do it. Jeez, that is absolutely madness. Addy with an absolutely audacious overtake there up the inside of Chillicothe, who made a slight mistake through the middle sector. And now Addy has gotten past Chillicothe, and now he's going to be trying to get back up towards Ed. And I believe as things stand, Ed would be in the championship lead by 1 point. As Chazza is also going to play a role in this battle, that's for sure. It doesn't look like Addy's going to be able to pull away oh so easily, but who knows? We've seen Ed have a 5-second gap, and that being clawed in before, so it's certainly not over in this race. But one thing must be said is Ed is on the much better tyre at the moment. He is on the medium compounded tyres, where the rest of these lot are on the soft compounded tyres. So these drivers, if they really want to be challenging Ed here for this race win, they need to be starting to make inroads on Ed right now. As Addy with a pretty clean middle sector, probably the cleanest what we've seen so far when we've at least been watching him, managing to pull away slightly from Chillicothe. But of course, look how close Chazza is. Chazza putting in a real good performance today. So, one of his strongest performances we've seen as of late. And now Chazza using no ERS whatsoever, but now as we come onto the main straight, he's going to put that in 5th mode, and Chillicothe seemingly asleep here with the DRS and all of his ERS and the slipstream. He's going to get past Chazza up into P3. He fakes a move there, does Chillicothe back on Chazza, but now Chazza up into P3, and Chillicothe's strong qualifying pace seemingly not translating into strong race paces. He's down to P4. To be fair, he's battling some mighty fast races here in Ed, Addy and Chazza, but just not seeming to come all together for Chillicothe in these races. I'm sure that's something that he can work at as the season progresses, and of course as we go into the next season in this league. But Bolt, he's 7 seconds behind Chillicothe at the moment, and that gap is continuing to build between Bolt and Chillicothe. But as Bolt really can't get rid of Ragnar, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ragnar gets disqualified in this race, as he's been track extending and corner cutting every time I come on board with him, quite honestly. But I'm not too sure how strict the penalties are around this Grand Prix circuit. As Bolt's going to come into the pit lane here, he's going to come off those soft compounded tyres. And let's see what compound he is going to put on. He's going to put on a set of medium compound tyres, and he's going to try and go to the end. Oh, he's got some front wing damage. Does Bolt. There you go. So that might have explained a little bit of a reason for his poor paces. We have Testameister absolutely flying down the main straight, and he's going to get past Hereford here up into P7. Oh, and we've got Addy and Chazza battling, as looks like Addy was trying to get a move done there on Chazza, but Chazza just about fending it off for the time being. As Chazza as hang on, have I missed an overtake here? I think I have. I think we've missed Chazza overtaking Addy for second place in this Grand Prix. So Chazza absolutely flying in this race, showing the true pace that he really does have, which he hasn't really been showing whatsoever so far this season, except for perhaps the first race. But then I think he missed 4 races in a row, which really already spoiled his any chances of him being in the championship battle. As now Addy is going to come into the pit lane on lap 22, and he's got 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. The championship leader collecting a number of penalties here so far in this race, as he now goes on to the medium compounded tyres to go to the end of the Grand Prix. But Addy has quite a number of time penalties, and that's not going to be very good for him in what has been a very close race, as Chazza is now released of any pressure behind him, and he's going to perhaps try and close this gap down to Ed, who Ed is in a very comfortable position in this race. I don't think he has any penalties, and I believe that he can go onto the soft compounded tyre in the final stint. So Ed really in a strong position here, going on the harder compounded tyres in the middle stint here is going to pay dividends for him in the end here. But of course, a lot can happen here as we're on lap 22 of 36 here in the Mexican Grand Prix, which has included 2 safety cars, as we've got Bolt all the way down in P11 after his pit stop onto the medium compounded tyres. But Bolt really struggling here through the middle sector. It's been he's struggling quite massively from some lag, as Ragnar has now got past Chilikilla, as Chilikilla's pitted and he's gone onto the medium compound tyres as well. And let's see where about Chilikilla comes out in relation to Addy. Well, Addy's already gone past him, so that's a big relief for Addy. He's going to have dealt with one rival here. Chilikilla is going to be, well, all the way down to P9 now after his pit stop. But Bolt just in absolute no man's land in this race really at the moment. He's really having a struggle. Is our former championship leader and the man who was dominating this championship for so long in this season, as Val and Maverick are going at it. As it looks like Maverick's made a little bit of a mistake there, and what is the very tight hairpin in the stadium section of the track. But we'll go back forward now as Chaz's tyres are starting to wear. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Chazza come into the pits here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Chazza come onto the soft compounded tyres here, as I did pit around about lap 12, and here we go. Chazza is going to go onto the soft compounded tyres. So Chazza is really in a good position here to get a P2 in this race. As Ragnar continues on once more, he's also in a pretty strong position as Ragnar here to get perhaps a podium. He's looking pretty strong, and of course being on those medium compound tyres, meaning he can go onto those soft compound tyres for his final stint, like Ed surely will do in a matter of moments. Surely comes into pits there in this lap after he did enjoy what was a 6.5 second gap on Chazza, and Chazza getting past Hereford here. As Chazza, it's really going to be crucial for him if he wants to perhaps even win this race. He's going to have to have a mighty strong outlap here, as we've got the 2 McLarens trading positions, Testameister and Danny Ibn Lahar. But Addy is getting held up here by Testameister, and Testameister really has turned into his Italian. Oh, and Addy is just going to absolutely get past Danny Ibn Lahar just like that. That's a brilliant move there by Addy. He's done it once again. We've got a safety car. Oh, that's massive in this race. And Ed's already gone past the start-finish line. So now the rest of the field will surely come to the pits. And here we go. We've got Ragnar coming into the pits. But this could be absolutely massive. It will favour those who have already pitted to go onto the soft compounded tyres. So those who have pitted and gone onto the medium compounded tyres really now... Oh, it was actually a virtual safety car, as Ragnar's been held in the pit lane. So I thought it was a actual full course safety car. But Chilikilla all over the back of Hereford now, and he's going to move up into P5 in this race. But that... Oh, and who was that sitting on the inside of the corner there? I'm not too sure. I believe it was a laps car. Can't quite see. My apologies. I thought it was a full course safety car, but it was not to be, as Chilikilla, after that nice move of Hereford, now it's got to look to get up to the back of Dougie Afferman, who is challenging Chazza. But somehow Ed has now got a 24-second gap, as Mavericks retired from the race now. And now here we go. We've got Ed coming into the pits here coming into the pits of the lead. From the lead. He's going to go onto the medium compounded tyres. That's very questionable. This really could put Chazza in play here. But no, I think we do. Have we got another virtual safety car? And that could be absolutely perfect for Ed. As all of the other cars who have gone to go through the track at a slower speed, whereas he can just go not through the pits very normally. He doesn't have to go slower than what the pit lane speed limit is. So that's going to really benefit Ed here. As Chazza is now 9 seconds behind, and I'm sure if Chazza, I'm sure if there wasn't that virtual safety car, that Chazza would be quite a lot closer. But Addy, all of a sudden, has found himself in a pretty good position here after making that pit stop quite a while ago. He's found himself in the medium compounded tyres and 4 seconds out of Chazza, but surely he'll come under pressure from Addy, as we're now back under green flag racing conditions here, as we've got Ayrton Spencer coming into the pits from P10, but Bolt, has got Hereford. I've only noticed that Hereford's on 23 lap old hard compounded tyres. We might see Hereford try to go to the end of this race, which I wouldn't exactly, which I wouldn't think would be exactly the smartest idea, because look how much he's struggling with understeer and just a general lack of grip through this final sector here. Oh, look at that. The car's an absolute dog. Hereford, mate, you should have come into the pit lane, fella. As we've got Chillicothe now within a second of Dougie Afferman, and now down the main straight he comes as they head onto lap 27 of 36. He gets past Dougie Afferman, just Chillicothe quite comfortably, and now he moves up into P4 in this race, and let's see if he can do anything. Perhaps he can close this gap to Chazza, but Chazza being on the soft compound tyres is really paying off here as he's closing this gap to Addy, and that could be massive in this championship, because of course the difference between P2 and P3 is 3 points, but hey, at the end of the day, that is where championships are won and lost, those little margins, those little small margins. But of course Chazza still has to get the job done, as Chazza, I know, does have penalties along with Addy, so it's going to be quite a battle to see who gets this second place in this race. As Bolt, he's really fallen off in this race, he really has. We would expect perhaps Hereford to pit again, but I'm not too sure about Ducky Afroman, so the best I'd see Bolt coming up with this race is P6, and when your championship rivals are in currently first and second place, that's not what you want to be doing, as Ed has actually just set the fastest lap of the race, and he's going to be at the moment taking home 26 points, and that could be crucial. Every point counts in this three-way scrap for the championship lead. But Bolt here struggling as he's actually lost position to Testameister here. As Testameister on those soft compounded tyres, and Bolt's going to be in real trouble here as he's got cars behind him who are on softer compound and fresher compounded tyres. We've got Ragno behind him here, but Bolt's car's seemingly lagging quite a bit as he's got a 3-second time penalty, and I can tell you what, that's not his first of this race. But we've got cars behind who are on fresher and softer compound tyres than Bolt, so Bolt, Bolt's made a mistake! Bolt's made a mistake and he's down in P9. This title is really going from bad to worse as Murcielago has got a puncture. A retired car, I believe, might have just gotten in the way, because I know Murcielago ain't even racing. He's in chat at the moment, so what on earth has gone on there? Is Val's coming to the pits, but it must be for some sort of drive-through penalty, as he's still on 16 lap old hard compounded tyres. But from what was looking like a championship battle and a championship lead, which was unassailable parts in this championship, Bolt Bolt's fortunes as of late have just gone from bad to worse, and all the way down in 9th place. And with after this 3 races remaining, Bolt, we could see Bolt really starting to fall out of this championship battle now. It looks, as things stand, it looks like that the championship battle is going to be between Addy and Ed. And Ed, after this display here, he should be coming out on top and the new championship leader. But with 7 laps left in traffic and God knows what around Mexico City, anything could happen here, as now Ed heads on to lap 30 out of 36, as he now enjoys a 4.1 second lead over Ed as he pulls over, over Addy as he pulls over to the right hand side, as Chazza now overtakes a lapped car, Val I believe there, and Bolt has now got another 3-second time penalty, so I doubt we'd be even seeing Bolt in the points at this rate. Chazza, he's starting to gain a little bit here on Addy. Is Addy's tyres perhaps just starting to get a little bit worn, perhaps? But of course, Chazza on that softer rubber, even though he has not been on these tyres as long, he really should be the one experiencing some pain here. But still, even on lap 30 out of 36, they're still having to go at a snail's pace through this middle sector, as well, especially through the first part. Why is your AR car driving so slow? I believe your AR car's got a puncture at the moment, but Chazza here just about nearing himself into the ones within 2 seconds of Addy here. And if he can do that, he can start to pick up a much better slipstream and perhaps could find himself looking at fighting Addy for this second place. As we're going to go back a little bit further here to Dougie Afferman, who's done a tremendous job. Lap 31, he's on 20-lap-old hard compounder tyres as Ragnar and Testameister, the 2 Italians in the Ferrari and the McLaren, are squabbling here over 7th place, and surely Dougie Afferman's position here is going to be under threat as Ragnar and Testameister both have DRS on the Toro Rosso driver here, and Testameister's absolutely flying down the main straight. Is he going to try and go around the outside of Dougie Afferman? Indeed he has done so, as Ragnar. What are you doing, fella? He's gone for an absolutely audacious move there, nearly taking out Dougie Afferman, who's worked oh so hard in this race to get himself in a position where he can score some points. And Ragnar's just gone up the inside there and scared Dougie Afferman off the circuit, and well, Ragnar's just bullied his way up into P7 there, up past Dougie Afferman, who's now going to probably fall into the lap of Bolt here at P9. But now we should see Testameister and Ragnar start to advance up towards Hereford, who's on 28-lap-old hard compound tyres. It looks like even after I was telling him to pit a couple of laps ago, perhaps this could be a very inspired decision, because at the worst, he's looking on for at least a P9 at the moment. But everything is looking pretty stable at the front end of this race, as we've got Ed maintaining about this 4-second gap to Addy, and then this gap between Addy and Chazza is remaining at about 2 seconds, and Chillicar really is a non-factor as Ragnar's getting to get past Testameister here into turn 1 and 2. Yes, he does. But let's see if Testameister can respond here down the second DRS straight. But it looks like he doesn't have the DRS. It looks like it's Ragnar, but in the slipstream, it is Testameister. He's going to try and launch it up the inside of Ragnar, but Ragnar just a little bit too strong there. Oh, and Bolt has left the session. As Testameister not quite able to muster up any more offence in trying to get past Ragnar. Looks like he'll enjoy what is going to be a very good P7 for Testameister, probably one of his best races of the season, this, which is very nice to see. But now, well, I say that, but they really should now start to be looking towards Hereford here. MP5 is on 30 lap of hard compounded tyres, and surely Ragno and Testameister will be over the back of him as Smochilako's car's still on circuit, even though he's DNF'd and left the session. And yeah, great game. But Chaz are now just falling back a little bit here from Addy, as Addy seemed to pick up the pace a little bit here as he's gained a couple of tenths here on Ed on this lap. But on soon to be lap 34 of 36, it is looking like only one man can win this race. That's going to be Ed GTS. As he now comes onto lap 34 out of 36. He's looking in a very good position to win this race, as Chiller Killer's continuing to fall back off of Chazza here. He's seemingly not having a fantastic time on these medium compounded tyres. Now, of course, with Bolt having left the session in, I assume, pure frustration and anger, he's all the way down in P12 now. This is his car, and Val got back up. He's got past Bolt there. Now battling a lapped car in Skull here. Now, I'm not even sure who's racing. I don't know if no, Skull isn't in the chat, but he is racing, and he's defending from Val when he really should be. Val is a lap ahead, but it looks like Ed is perhaps just preserving and driving a little bit cautiously here, as the gap has come down to 3 seconds now. So if Ed makes a mistake, sorry, I'm just getting a very dry throat now, as Addy, if Ed does make a mistake, as we're now on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, if he does make a mistake, he is within striking distance, as Ragno through the S's. We've seen so many overtakes through the S's, and he's got an illegal overtake there as Ragno. This Hereford is going to seemingly lose his P5 in this race, as Ragno all over the back, as Hereford getting pushed through the... Oh, Hereford just got no grip whatsoever compared to Ragno, who's on soft compound tyres. And before we're even on the actual main straight, Ragno's going to get past Hereford here up into P5. It's been a very valiant effort here by Hereford to get that P5 today, but it's going to just fall short here, as Hereford now, his main objective is to hold on from Testameister. He will be at least, I'd say, getting P7 in this race, Hereford, and I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted with that, as he's trying to strike back here at Ragnar, but he's never going to be able to outbrake Ragnar when he's on, well, tyres which are basically done the whole race distance. As I need to now stretch, actually, so now we've got the mic in my hand at the moment. But now we are on the final lap of the Grand Prix for what will be our new championship leader, if he manages to keep it out of the wall. But Ragnar has got past Hereford here, and now Testameister should be able to get past Hereford here down the main straight on much fresher tyres. And here we go now with the DRS activated right about now in the slipstream of the Williams. Testameister pulls out the slipstream. And that is a very comfortable move for Testameister as he moves himself up into P6 past Hereford, who's driven, quite frankly, a brilliant race. But now, as we come into the stadium section for the final time, as the confetti goes off in the stadium section, the red, white and green of the Mexican flag and of the Mexican nation, it's going to be Ed in the Mercedes to win the Mexican Grand Prix and to go back into the lead of the championship, as Addy has a number of penalties, but so does Chazza, and that means that Addy is going to maintain P2 there ahead of Chazza, both having penalties, and that means that they both maintain position, and Chazza just about keeps P3 from Chillakilla there, as Ragno, he comes through the hairpin here in the stadium section and through the final corner, and this will be a very good 5th place finish for Ragno. He's driven one of his best races of the season, has Ragno, and I'm sure he'll be pleased with the P5. But on penalties, Hereford is going to get P5. The man has put 34 laps on those hard compounded tyres, and he has got P5 on penalties. Testemeister finishes 6th, Ragno 7th. Dougie Atherman, a very good effort as well on those hard compounded tyres to finish in 8th place. But of course the main talking point is Ed is back in the lead of the championship now with 3 races to go. And I believe he also did take home the fastest lap, which means he will get a point for that as well. As my throat is seizing up and I'm nearly losing the ability to talk, so we'll quickly end this so I can go relieve myself and get some water. But here we go. Now back into the lead of the championship, we have Ed with a brilliant display of overtaking and then just ability to build a gap and take home the victory here in Mexico. Then we have Addy in 2nd place. Had a pretty rough race, but a very good one nonetheless. P2, not what you want to be getting, but still 18 points is 18 points. Then we have Chazza in P3. Certainly Chazza's best race in some while, and good to see him back on the podium. Chillakilla took pole, but P4, I'm sure he'll be delighted with that. Hereford in P5, he'll be absolutely ecstatic with that. Fantastic performance by Hereford. Then Testemeister in 6th, Ragnar in 7th, Doug Yafferman in 8th, Ayrton Spenner in 9th, Danny Vindelheim in 10th, Val in 11th, Bolt in 12th, Skull in 13th, Murcielago 14th. Then we had, I can't read on my phone. I can't read on my phone. I don't know who finished P15. But I assume that it doesn't even matter. But what a drive by Ed, and congratulations to Ed as he is now back in the lead of the Drivers' Championship, and that has been another extremely exciting and chaotic and very eventful Mexican Grand Prix. And now next up is the American Grand Prix at the Circuit of Americas. And that, of course, is the 3rd last race of the season before then we head to Brazil. And then, of course, Abu Dhabi for the end of the championship. But that has been the commentating for another week. And until next week at 9:30 Central European Time, 8:30 p.m. GMT time next Sunday evening. It has been me, Niblo, and I hope you have a very good week, and we'll see you that time next week for the American Grand Prix.